Penny Green and I'm the assistant manager at the Burt Cobb Rec Center. Welcome to Kids in the Kitchen. This is my daughter Casey.
Hi.
And today we are going to make rainbow grilled cheese sandwiches. Today for this project you are going to need bread, butter, mozzarella cheese, and food coloring. We've already colored 5 of the colors and Casey's going to show you how to make the blue.
Okay, so to make this colored cheese, you're going to take about a cup of mozzarella cheese and you're going to put it in a Ziploc bag. Then you're going to take your food coloring and you're going to do 2 to 3 drops of it in the bag, depending on how bright you want the colors. Then you're going to shake it like crazy. And of course, if you feel as though you need to add more food coloring, you can. It is for preference.
Perfect.
Okay.
So once you have all your colors laid out, then it's just like the way you make a normal grilled cheese sandwich. While Casey pours that in the cup, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. We've got our griddle hot already, and I'm going to go ahead and get this buttered. It's nice and sizzly. I'm gonna have you start buttering that, and
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and go in rainbow order.
Roy G. Hill.
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Now, of course, to make the violet, you're gonna add red and blue, and
To make the orange, you need yellow and red.
all right. Oh, it's yummy. I'm gonna add a little bit more yellow.
Yep.
The reason we went ahead and chose the mozzarella, thank you, Case.
You're welcome. It dies easier than most other cheeses.
You wanna go ahead and start.
Because it's a softer cheese and it works better.
You can go and grab that knife and we can start on the next one. Yeah, because it's a lighter colored cheese, it's going to absorb the food coloring a lot better.
Unlike if you were to use Colby Jack or any other
Or
colored
like a
cheeses.
cheddar.
Yeah. Ooh, that's hot.
So, of course, because we're dealing with
Hold on, wait,
heat.
I need some more butter.
Oh, sorry.
Oh wait, never mind. Sorry.
Of course, because we're dealing with heat, this is absolutely going to be a project in which adult supervision is going to be required.
Butter.
And
That's such a nice sound.
in the event we do have someone with lactose intolerance or things like that, we could always use a soy-based cheese or something like
Or a nut
that.
cheese. Ooh.
I'm excited.
Just go.
The really cool thing about this is once it gets nice and toasty, you're gonna see we're gonna pull it apart, and then you're gonna see this amazing rainbow.
It's gonna be like one of those beautiful slow-mo reveals. That
If you want to go
see
ahead,
in
Case,
movies.
go ahead and pull a couple more pieces of bread, and we'll go ahead and get another one of these going.
Yes, ma'am. Where's the one with that piece? There we go. Just one more for now?
Yeah, just one more.
Okay.
So like we said, roughly we've made about a cup of mozzarella
Per color.
per color. I've got my griddle set on about 375. This is just going to be a fun play on a traditional grilled cheese sandwich, what a lot of people eat on a weekly basis. And this is gonna go along with our Color Your World Week on our Summer Youth Program virtual programming. Let's cut this up just a little bit. I cannot honestly say this is the first time I've ever made a grilled cheese sandwich outside.
Out of all the times we've ever cooked on a fire or on a griddle, we've never made grilled cheese on it.
Yep. Ooh, I love that sound.
I'll squish it though, because then the cheese comes out the sides.
Yeah. If you want to go ahead and flip the first side down and go ahead and start layering the cheese. Ooh.
Okay. Put that red. Orange. Thank you. Yellow.
I think Casey's sandwich turned out better than mine. I think that one's just about done.
Green. Oops. Green.
Ooh.
Blue. Oh no, I might not have room for purple. Might have messed it up a little bit. Oh no, thank you.
All right.
Okay, and then last but not least, violet.
All right.
A nice little bit. And there's K. Do you want me to put the other slice of bread on top of it?
Absolutely.
Something else is bread going. Okay. Get nice and melty and pretty.
All right. Get that out just a tad bit longer. I'm excited for this. Go ahead and cut this little guy up. Casey, can I have a knife for
Which
there?
one? This one? Does that work?
Nope, I think I got it with the spatula. And I'll let this guy cool for a moment. Ooh.
That was
All right.
malfunctioned a bit.
And
Can we pull this one apart?
yeah, absolutely.
A second. Might want to give it a second more to pull.
So once again, this is going to be a project that's absolutely going to have adult supervision,
Okay.
just because of the heat involved.
I think it's time for the big reveal.
The big reveal.
Okay, can you do it? My fingers are not like.
So
Ooh.
that is a rainbow grilled cheese sandwich.
I think in that one, right
Let's
there
see.
in that bite, we got some orange, yellow,
I think it's the way
red, and green.
I cut it.
Yeah. Ooh, stringy.
Oh, and then my side would have had.
And because it's mozzarella cheese, it is definitely going to be stringy, gooey, and amazing.
So
Hot.
definitely chewy and gooey and yum. And
Oh yeah.
delicious.
Oh yeah.
So that's Coloring Your World with a rainbow grilled cheese, brought to you by Kids in the Kitchen with Parks and Rec. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you next time. Ooh, yummy. Flip this guy.
Oop.
I know, right? Let's cut this guy off. Okay.
You over here double fisting my freaking.
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Evans from the Cleveland Recreation Center. I'd like to share a project with you that I've been working with at home during this pandemic. It's another variety of tie-dye, fun, it's affordable, and it's very easy. Most of the items you can find will be at your local Dollar Tree store or Walmart. The items that you find pretty much at the Dollar Tree store will be your t-shirts, your stencils, you can find at the Dollar Tree store. Cardboard, we use cardboard, So they have some stuff in the aisles over there that you can use for cardboard, or you can just make them up with your box tops or any kind of shoe box tops or what have you to use that. And the last but not least, we would say for your safety, make sure you have adult supervision, okay? And like I said, once again, the items that you would need would be a dark colored shirt, your Clorox pens that you find over in Walmart, and some kind of thick plastic or box top or something that you can put between the fabric, so when you're doing the design, the bleach or the Clorox does not bleed through to the other side, okay? And at this time, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to do. And like I said, it's another form of tie-dye, so we want you to have fun with it. First thing we want to do is, we're going to go and we're going to take the top, the box top, or that plastic that you use, and we're going to put it between our fabric. And what you're doing is, like I said earlier, is to try to prevent the bleeding to go through your shirt. So you place it where you're going to be placing your stencil at, so you're able to draw on top of that. Then you take this, I'm doing it in two places. You can put as many designs on the shirt as you would like. Just use your imagination as to how many you want on your shirt. For me, I'm gonna just use 2 spots. Then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take my stencil and I'll lay out my pattern like I want it. So I looked on mine. I think I'm gonna put on the top up here. I'm gonna put my design is gonna be happy together. Okay, so that's my first design that I'm gonna be working on up the top right there. And then I'm looking around. I might want to do some flowers. So like I said, all you do then is that you set it up on there like you want to use it, how you want to lay it out. Let me back up a little bit too. I want to remind you guys too, along with some of the material that you're going to get, I want to remind you of some of the PPE that you can use for your protection, okay? So be mindful of the gloves as part of the PPE and mask. If you need a mask, sometimes the fumes irritate some people, so make sure you have your mask and your gloves so you don't, the Clorox don't come in contact with your skin and irritate you. Then you take your Clorox pens, once you set out your designs on your shirt, and you go ahead. Now, you don't have to put that much Clorox on it. So when you're doing your pens, don't squeeze with so much on there, you don't have to. What you do is you go ahead, take your pen and trace your line, trace out the word. This project takes somewhere between, the total project would be 45 minutes, about 40 to 45 minutes. And you just outlining your design. And like I said, you don't have to put but so much because the Clorox is going to do his work. Perhaps it's almost like the kids home and they coloring and they tracing and they fill in, they color in a book or something. They find a project that they like. This right here is easy, fun. Some girls can get together and they use this. Essence of time, we'll speed it up a little bit. My wife and I was doing this, and she kind of, she's telling me I don't know how to trace, so I was like, oh. It takes a few minutes, so just have patience with it, but you want to have fun with it. Okay, like I said, once you trace it out, you let the stencil stay in place. And you want to give it about 20 minutes. I have my stopwatch with me, so I usually put my timer on there. And in the essence of time, what I want to do, I had one already set out for us. And so what I did was, I got it designed like I wanted. Careful with your things. Now, what we want to do here, I'm going to take the cardboard out from between. My shirt. And I'm gonna go over to my sink. Now, guys, when you're rinsing this off, be very careful. Because see how it'll start to smudge? You don't want it to smudge all over and mess up the rest of your shirt. So, what you do then is, you go over to your sink, turn your water on, and at this point, you're not gonna be rubbing the fabric together. All you're gonna do is let the water run and let the bleach run off into the sink area. So I'm gonna put my hand between the fabric. You see where all the white is. Being careful with the rest. I'm gonna let it wash off in the sink. What I'm doing, I'm removing all the white. And notice I just got my hand under where the design is, and I'm letting it run off into the sink. Once you see all the white has been removed, you gently wring it a little bit, or like for me, I have my dryer at the house, I throw it in the dryer, or you hang dry it. And this is what it comes out to be. Once you've dried it, and that kind of thing, you can hang it in the bathroom and let it dry there, or put it in the dryer on normal dry, and just let it dry for about 10, maybe 15 minutes, and it'll come out to be just like that, the design that you like. And that's all it is to making tie-dye.
Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin Black and I'm with Clarksville Parks and Rec, Clean Recreational Center. This game will be rainbow bowling. You will need 10 empty bottles and you can halfway fill them with water and add a little food coloring for fun. Another tool that we'll use in this game are the stress balls that were previously submitted on a last video. And basically it's regular bowling. You're just rolling the stress balls into the bottles. Thank you so much for watching.
Welcome to the Craft Corner with Parks and Rec. Today, we are gonna make some surprise rainbows. For this project, you are going to need 2 paper towels, a permanent black marker, like a Sharpie or any other type, preferably thicker, and a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple washable marker. So we need the colorful ones to not be permanent. You're also going to need some water and a container to put the paper towel in. So to start our first one, you're just going to take one of your paper towels and you're going to fold it in half. This is a cool little STEM project that the kids are really going to like doing. So we are just going to simply make the arches of our rainbow. You know, we have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors in our rainbow. So we're gonna have to draw 7 arches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. When you're done with that, it should look like this. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up and you can kind of see you have your outlines. So going in rainbow order, just to remember Roy G. Biv, we're gonna start with red and we're gonna color at the top. Color in your first bow in the rainbow. Now this project, I would say probably ages 5 on up, just because we're dealing with permanent markers. And everyone will enjoy watching the magic happen. I would recommend, if you were gonna have the little ones participate in the coloring process, they could color on half of it with a black permanent marker with supervision, and then color on the other side with the colors, and then we can watch it happen, the magic happen. So I got my red, got my orange, this goes along with our Color Your World week. We're focusing a lot on colors and different ways to make our worlds beautiful. And we just thought this might be a really fun little STEM project. So I've got my red and my orange done. Now we're working on yellow. Green. And the next color in our rainbow is blue. All right, guys, we're ready in just a second to have our surprise rainbow appear. Coloring the last bow of my rainbow. It's going to be really important not to color too hard because you will end up ripping the paper towel. So once our front looks like this, our inside looks like this, just following the pattern that the permanent marker left. You guys ready for this? You are going to take, I'm going to use a glass dish just so you can see better on camera. I'm going to pour just a little bit of water in there. Maybe a little bit more. You ready for this? Then you're just going to set it in and watch the rainbow appear. So doing this, the kids will learn the transfer of colors, and I just thought it would be something really fun and exciting for them to do. So we'll see you next time on the Craft Corner with Parks and Hi, my name is Penny Green and I'm the assistant manager at the Burke Cobb Rec Center, where we happen to be right now. For today's story, we are going to do the Berenstain Bears Help the Homeless. So the story and pictures are by Jan and Mike Berenstain. The Good Deed Scouts were trying to think of a good deed to do. Before they could, Widow McBear came by. Hello, Hello, Scouts, she said. I have a good deed for you. That's great, said Brother. What is it, said Sister. I have an old house at the top of Spook Hill, said Widow McBear. No one lives there and it's run down. It sounds spooky, said Sister to Lizzie. I want to make it a home for the homeless, said Widow McBear. Will you Scouts fix it up? Yes, we will, said the Scouts. Well, here's the key, said Widow McBear. You can start tonight. Tonight, said Sister. The Scouts were scared. Sister thought there might be ghosts. Brother thought there might be goblins. And Lizzie thought there might be monsters. What do you think might be in a house that's been abandoned? But Fred was not scared. It was just an old house. It would make a good home for the homeless. Rescue the weak and the needy, said Fred. Good point, said Brother. That night, the Scouts stood at the bottom of Spook Hill. I'm afraid there are ghosts, said Sister. I'm afraid there's goblins, said Brother. I'm afraid there's monsters, said Lizzie. It's just an empty house, said Fred. Follow me. So up Spook Hill, the Scouts went. Sister, Brother, and Lizzie were wrong. There were no ghosts or goblins or monsters in the house, but Fred was wrong too. The house was not empty. Lots of eyes were looking out of the window, lots of little eyes, and one big pair of eyes. The little eyes belonged to the bats that lived in the house, and the big eyes belonged to old Tom. He was a homeless bear. He stayed at the spooky old house. And as the Scouts came closer, old Tom and the bats grew afraid. The Scouts walked across the porch. Creak, creak went the floor. Fred turned the doorknob. Rattle, rattle went the knob. Fred pulled the door open. Squeak went the door. Bats came flying out the open door. Whoosh went the bats. The Scouts went inside and saw two big eyes. Ghost, yelled Sister. Goblins, yelled Brother. Monsters, yelled Lizzie. Help, yelled old Tom. Everyone calm down, said Fred, and he turned on his flashlight. It's old Tom, said Brother. We see him around town. Hello, Tom, said Fred. We are the Good Deed Scouts, and we're fixing up this old house. Will you help? Have you guys ever stopped to help somebody that needed help? Like maybe picking weeds or mowing grass or carrying groceries from a car? Let's see what Tom does. Old Tom was glad to help. They started the next day. They hammered and sawed and they swept and washed. They painted and polished. And soon, the spooky old house on the top of Spook Hill looked like new. Widow McBear came to open the new Spook Hill homeless shelter, and she asked Tom to stay and take care of it all. All the homeless bears of Bear Country came to live there. The bats lived there too, but they stayed in the attic. So we hope you guys enjoyed this book, Helping the Homeless. Take some time to think about how you can help around the house or help a neighbor or help somebody you don't know. Doing good deeds makes you feel good. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.